Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Three Strands live stream. It's been a week. I don't know about you guys, but the last 7 days felt like 3 weeks to me. And I'm so looking forward to what we're going to talk about today. Not so much because of the location we're going to speak of, because I don't go into the casinos much, but I know that casino cruising is a thing, and I have a really good friend who knows more about this than I do, so I invited him aboard. So let's welcome him in. Good morning, JC. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good, Mr. Three Strands. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And right away, let's just say good morning, Lone Star. It's good to have you here. Thank you for the support. So today we're going to do a little chat about what it means to cruise with, I guess it's casino points. Is that what you're earning?
Yeah, basically, well, let's first start with right off the bat. Only gamble with money you can afford to lose. Let's start right there before we go any further.
Yep.
And don't go into the casino on the expectations that you're going to win a free cruise. So how I kind of got started into all this was I just kind of used to, I've been cruising with Royal Caribbean since 1992, early 90s anyway. And that first cruise went on, then it was like a gap of like 8 years, and then we went on another one. And then the last few cruises I went on, I always liked the slot machines a little bit. So I would only go when I would put like $300, run it through the slot machine, and
Yeah.
have your C Pass card in there, and then wasn't really a lot of money. I'm like $300-400 it was. And then I started getting these cards in the mail for like free cruise for one, and and discount for a second person. And so they started like, I'm like, wow, what's this all about? I didn't really know it was a thing. I was just playing, and all of a sudden I get these cards in the mail. And then to come to find out, there's a whole thing, which there are so many different channels now out there about cruising, free cruises, cruising comps, and all that stuff.
Right.
So I started looking into it, and sure enough, there's a whole system and tiers and a whole thing that goes on with that. So when I started looking into it, it's basically depends. Things are different between table games and slot machines.
Uh-huh.
Slot machines are probably the easiest way. If you can, problem is you got to keep hitting on the slot to keep rotating the money through. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. So it's not just based on how much you lose or win or anything like that. It's based on how much you're cycling through the machine. So basically, how the slot machines kind of work is for every $5 played, you get 1 point. And that's slot machines. And then it's different on video. I think it's video poker or something like that. It's like 15 because that they don't have as high as odds against you on those machines. So it's like 15 per 1 point. And then the table games are a whole different beast. Those go by amount you're betting, for how long you're at the table, and it's the pit boss or the manager of the table. They're constantly punching in what you're playing, how much you're playing.
Yeah.
So that's very up to them what they're going to give you for points. And I've had that go either way. I've had it where they've given me a lot of points, and I've had some where they haven't given me so many points.
Uh-huh.
Definitely a thing with that. If you're playing table games, I do a lot of craps playing. I do well when I seem to tip the dealers. A lot of people I'm with, they don't really. I look around the table and no one's really tipping the dealers. So I'll either I always have dollar chips, and I'll put them, on the hard ways for the dealers, or just get them in the game so that
Right.
you know what I mean. So when the pit boss or the manager sees that, they're like, hey, well, he's helping out. He's helping give my guys some money. So they seems like he do a little better. But so,
Right.
anyways, there's different tiers. I'm trying. I get some notes over here of different points you get.
Okay.
So I didn't never played enough because to get a free, you can actually get a free certificate on the cruise, which I did on my last cruise on Oasis, which was a comp cruise. So the first cruise I've ever done 1,500 points in one cruise. Normally, I would only do 300 points, 400 points, and that wasn't enough in itself to get a certificate. So the 1,500 points is like the bare minimum you need to get a certificate on the ship that day.
Okay.
You hit that, you'll get that. Then after 1,500, it goes up to another tier, another tier, another tier. So when you get the cruise certificate, I hit the 1,500 points, which was a combination of me of slot play and table games, which basically craps. But I actually did pretty good on the slots that cruise, which really got me to the 1,500 points. So they give you a certificate, and the whole thing with that certificate is it's not like you pick any ship you want at any time you want. They tell you what you can get and where, what times you can go and what kind of room you can get depending on what tier you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Oasis cruise. So we got the cruise certificate. Now, a nice little tip with that is when you're booking, if you go up to next cruise in Royal Caribbean, so up in Royal Caribbean ships, they all have this next cruise area where you
can
go,
the like desk where you can go ahead and get your deposit made for a future cruise, correct?
Correct. So if you have basically 30 days to use this certificate. Not that you'll lose a certificate, but you only have 30 days if you want to. Next cruise will give you a bonus, in other words. So there's a chart. I don't know if you had pulled that chart up or not, or have that lined up, but I sent you a picture of a chart.
Yeah, let me know which one.
It's the one that has it starts with like 400 points at the bottom, and it goes up to 4, then it says it kind of like.
Okay, let me see if I can
see. Yeah. So basically, as you're looking for it, I'll just explain a little bit. So when you go on the next cruise, when you hit a certain level of points, say, okay, I hit 400 points, so that's not enough for a cruise certificate. But if you have 400 points and you go to next cruise, you'll get something with next cruise, but you have to book it on that ship. I always do an open booking. It's a minimum deposit, $200, I think it is. And I can always pick the date later, but you have to book it in that 30-day window. There you go.
That's the one.
In that 30-day window. Yep. So on the left, I put my glasses on here. So on the left, you can see at 400 points, you can get 100. The left side is going to be what you'll get off on the offer. So at 400 points, you can get $100 off any cruise you pick. It'll give you 100 off. But if you do it that time when you're on that ship at next cruise, you can possibly get an interior stateroom for one and discounted fare for guests. So in other words, even though you're not hitting 1,500 points to get the certificate offer right there and then, even though you only hit 400 points, this may not be a huge amount of sailings, but there'll still be some offers there for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you walk into the casino, if you go to the host desk, which I always go to the host desk, especially now because I get all these semi-comp cruises, and I'll introduce myself. It's nice to walk up to the casino host and say, "Hey, my name's JC, and thank you very much for allowing me, giving me this cruise to come play in the casino. I really appreciate it." So you just kind of make yourself known to the casino host. They know you're there. They know you're playing, who you are, So I always do that just to kind of get a little rapport with the casino host. So then, at 400, you get $100 off, but at 600, you get $200 off, or it's the same thing. You get interior guarantee statement for one, okay? But because you're at 600 points, they'll probably give you a few more sailings.
Right.
And you're kind of working your way up to the 1,500 points, which is when you get your free certificate.
Okay.
And the higher you go, obviously, 2,000. So my last cruise, we hit 1,500 on the last night. Okay. So I knew there was no way I was going to make 2,000 that cruise because it's my last night. Okay. So it's like no use me playing anymore right now until the next cruise, because I'm wasting points to get to 2,000. It's not going to do anything for me.
Right.
And that's the other thing too, is these points that you're accumulating, only they're accumulative for the ranks. I'll go over that in a minute, but the points you get for these certificates, once you leave that ship, this goes to zero, starts from scratch again.
That was
So
going
you
to be
can't go
my
on there.
question. So yeah, that may okay.
Yeah. So in other words, you may have 1,200, made it to 1,200 points, and it's the last day of the cruise. You're like, I'm done gambling. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. You hit 1,200 points. Like, but you know what? I'm going on a cruise next week. I'll just pick it up from 1,200 points, and I'll make 15 that cruise. Doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way.
They start you off at zero on the next cruise, and
Yeah.
you have to work that all the way back up every cruise.
Okay.
Now to get to the stages, which 2,500 is
Morning, Malibu.
Hey, Malibu.
Welcome in. Mark's music obsession. Hey, bud.
Hey,
glad
Mark,
you're here as always. Thanks.
So the tier is basically is choice. So choice is everybody. You walk in the casino, you're a choice, and it's my understanding that everybody gets some type of free play in the casino when you go on the ship. It may be $3, maybe $5.
Yeah.
But supposedly they put some type of money on everybody's C-Pass card. So if you go in the casino, put your C-Pass in. Usually to start to change your password. It's your birthday, I believe, and you put that in. It's a 4-digit. I think it's month and day, something like that. And you'll have some free play in there, And so it's like a shame not to use your free play. Even if you don't really go to the casino, go in. Hey, if it's $3, I've seen people go in there first spin, hit, $100, $50, whatever it may be. So it's something to think about. If everyone should have some type of free play. So that's choice is the first entry level status.
Okay,
that goes
so
up
when
to
you
2,000.
say everyone, you mean everybody on the ship or everybody that's there under a casino deal?
Your C-Pass card, everybody with a C-Pass card on that ship, you should have some type of free play when you. But here's the kicker. Well, here's the thing with that. It's only there for the first day or two. So if you don't go to the casino your first day, I don't know if it's 24 hours or 48 hours. It's the first day or two. It's there for the first day or two. If you don't go down there the first day or two, then it won't be there anymore. It's not even day 45. So if you go the first day or two, it should be on the card. First day for sure. I'm just not sure about the second.
Yeah.
So that choice is the first tier. Then Prime is 2,500 tier credits. Now, see, these are the credits I'm talking about that are cumulative. So I got 1,500 points on the last cruise. There you go. Choice, Prime, Signature, and Masters. Prime, you actually get another. They'll give you one cruise for that. Just by hitting Prime, you get one yearly cruise for that. But also with Prime, you get free drinks in the casino while you're there. So you have to go to the casino for them, but you do get free drinks in the casino. And then from there, it goes up to like Signatures 25,000 point. I mean, now you're really getting up to the high gamblers. And the higher you go up in the tiers, the more perks obviously they give you.
Sure.
It's like to get to Signature Masters is that's a lot of slot play.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Adventures. Yeah, welcome in.
How you doing, Flip Flopping Adventures? Nice to see you here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
And then like I said, Masters is 100,000 credits, and the higher you get, the better obviously cabin they're going to give you. From Prime to Signature to Masters,
right?
The better. And I think I've heard people complaining on the last free cruise set that they gave is like they kind of brought them down a little bit, where you might have had a balcony before at Prime. Now they kind of gave you an inside cabin, and I thought I heard some people complaining about that. But
it'd be easy to complain about if that's something you're used to.
Correct, and I think that's what it was. They were getting these, these great cabins every year, and all of a sudden they decided, like, let's bring it back a touch.
Yeah.
So anyways,
that's why we're doing this, because I figured it was something people want to know.
So I'm just going my notes over here. So that covers kind of like the different levels, and each cruise line, each ship has their own system. What they do, I know I've sailed on Celebrity once. Their tiers seem to be a little bit higher from what I saw. But
Well, that would
it's
seem
kind
to make sense because they're, for lack of a better term, a little higher class ship than the Royal Caribbeans, I guess.
exactly. So their stuff's just, and I really didn't do a lot of playing that casino. I played some craps for a while, but I knew I wasn't really going to grab anything on that cruise. So I'm like, and I wasn't probably going to sail on Celebrity anytime soon, anyways.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about what Celebrity and Royal has done now is, which is a really good thing. I wish I had it when I went on that cruise, but it wasn't active yet. Is you can use your nights of sailings on Royal or Celebrity and bring them over to your what do they call it? Let's see.
The reward status?
Crown and Anchor. Yeah, your Crown and Anchor on Royal.
Right.
So in other words, we could, because we do so much Royal, and we're short 6 nights to get to Diamond status, and that cruise we took on Celebrity would have brought us a Diamond status.
Okay.
Now you can dictate, okay, I'm sailing on Celebrity, but I want to use those nights towards my Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor, or vice versa. You can take your Royal Caribbean nights and use them towards Celebrities program, which I think they should have done that. That should have done that a long time ago. That's great, because they reciprocate anyways. Whatever status you are on one, they give you on the other.
Right.
You know, they kind of like bring it across because it's their sister ships and fleet. So that was a really good thing that they did. The other thing that just ended, actually, July 31st, I think it was. First time I seen it in a long time, is they had double points for certain sailings. That's really big, especially if you're trying to make Diamond, you know?
Yeah.
But
good morning, Plum Crazy Adventures. Thanks for dropping in.
Hey, Plum Crazy. Nice to see you. So yeah, so that's kind of the whole tier thing. We're trying to get credits and to try to get rooms. And like I said, there's different rooms, and most of the rooms that they're going to give you are, unless you really get higher up there, are inside cabins.
Yeah.
I've done and I wasn't sure if I was going to like an inside cabin. And then the last casino comp cruise we had was an inside cabin. And I'm like, well, let's give it a shot. And we did. And it was fine. You know, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I did. And so most of the ones I get for the amount of gambling I do is usually inside cabin for one. And then my wife is like half price or greatly reduced, because the cruise, 7-night cruises are costing me around $600, something like that. So of course you got to pay.
That's huge.
You got to pay taxes and port fees, obviously. That goes, you got to pay that with everything. But I think with the tax and port fees, it came to like $600. I think this one here, we're leaving another week or so to go on Harmony, which is another casino comp. That one might have been $800, but $800 for a week-long cruise, I think, is pretty damn good, you know.
Especially on an Oasis class ship. I mean,
yes. And that's what I've been trying to get.
For me and my wife to go, probably even on an inside, we'd probably be looking at 1,500 to 1,800, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's what you'll see people on different websites say. Be like, well, I plan on spending this much money anyways. Like, I take $2,000 to the casino and I'll run it through. And if I can get a free cruise that costs $2,000, to me, I'm net even. But it's not just. It's more than just getting that one cruise. The thing is, once you start the cycle of rotation, I get cards every month. So every month is a different card with different sailings, different ships. Now, at first, when you start with the smaller ones, because I've gotten that 1,500, reached that 1,500 point mark, they've gotten a little bit better. Now I'm starting to get them for 2 instead of for 1, which makes it even cheaper. I'm just truly paying port fees and taxes.
Right.
So that, I mean, now you're a couple $100, $300 maybe, for 7-night, 6-night cruises, which is really good in my book. But then the problem becomes, you got to have the time off to take these cruises. I have more offers than I can cruise. That's the other issue. You know? It's
too bad you can't transfer. Too bad you can't transfer any of those, because I know somebody'd be happy to take one off your hands.
It's a terrible problem to have, but yeah, exactly. So. But anyways, yeah. So once you get that cycle going, the offers keep coming, and the higher you get in your tiers, the better the offers get. So again, if you're going to be in the casino and you're going to be gambling anyways, why not try to get some benefits from it? And the main thing is, one, make sure you're putting your CPass card in the slot machine when you're playing, because you want to get credit for the play.
Right.
And two, if you're playing table games, make sure when you put your cash down to get your chips, make sure you give that CPass card with the cash, so the pit boss will put you in the program, and you want to make sure you're getting points at the tables also. So it's very important to make sure your CPass card is either in the machine, slot machine, or given to the pit boss, and he'll look at you. And every time I go, I put my money on the table. I mean, there might be like 5 people giving cards and money at the same time, but he'll go through one by one looking, and then he'll say your name and say, yeah, okay, very good. And then he throw your card back, and now you know you're in the machine getting compensation, getting points.
Right.
So,
Flip Flop says they paid $600 on the inaugural Legend.
Wow, that's wow.
Ocean Infinite. Is that supposed to be balcony there? I think
yes,
it is.
I believe that's balcony. Yes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. See, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'd take that in a heartbeat given the chance.
I mean, I'm surprised. Such a brand new ship, yeah, that is incredible for sure.
And Plum Crazy says, "What a great problem to have." I think she's referring to all those offers you keep getting.
I think she is. Oh man.
So,
but
Alberta, welcome in. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Alberta. So yeah, so there is. If I know, I was looking, it does say if you're playing Texas Hold'em, that doesn't count towards anything. You don't get points for that. That's just it's kind of like a separate game type thing. The Texas Hold'em games,
right?
Off to the side. You're not at a table with necessarily playing for the comps. You're playing against the people at the table. And I don't play that, but I'm pretty sure how that works is, the dealer takes a cut of every hand, and that's the casino's cut. I'm not sure because I don't play Texas Hold'em, but if you play Texas Hold'em, or I know the other thing was the coin machine down in the casino. That doesn't count. You get nothing for that either. Any money you put in that, but the coin pushers, stuff like that. So basically, it's the table games and in the slot machines. So like I said,
morning, Lana. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Lana,
long time Lana in here. I love the support we get from this group of people, because
it's great.
You know, we've all gotten to know each other pretty well. And Jetty,
it is Jetty to Jet Streams. How you doing?
Hey, bud, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so
but yeah,
one question I think a lot of people probably ask, there it is do these deals apply specifically to the cruise line you're going on, or can they be used across cruise lines? I guess it depends on who the organizer is, maybe.
Yeah, in other words, if you're getting comps in Royal Caribbean on the Royale one, Casino Royale program, you can only Royal Caribbean ships is the only offers you're going to get.
Okay.
And that goes the same for the other cruise lines, the same thing. Now, I have a friend of mine, Aaron from ARD Cruising is his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he does a lot with Carnival. A lot with Carnival. I mean, if you want to learn about Carnival and cruise comps, great resource to go to his channel. I communicate him. He's a great guy. Met him at Jetty Park one time, and I try to keep in touch with him. But he actually has I saw one video that he had where he had a cruise certificate from one line, okay, and he walked you through in that video on how to take that cruise certificate, say from Royal Caribbean, and get a cruise offer from another cruise line, say Carnival or whatever line may be, NCL. So that was a really good video, and they pretty much walk you right through it. This is what you do. Here's the letter. This is who you send it to, saying, here's my, I got this from Royal Caribbean. Here's my cruise certificate. You send a copy of them the cruise certificate, and then they sent him a offer for another cruise line. So can it be? It's specific for that cruise line, but if you want to put a little bit of time in, you technically can get another offer from another cruise line if you do the legwork, So that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, that is. It does sound like it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I would think when I watched that video, it was more like a few emails, sending emails, you know what I mean, back and forth, just saying, this is what I have. Are you willing to match it, or what are you willing to give me? And then they'll respond to you, yep, we're going to give you this, or no, we're not going to, no, we're not going to give anything this time. So,
right.
I think the higher you are, like if in the levels, the more they see you're a gambler, the more they're going to give you a free offer, because now they want you on their ship gambling, not the competition ship,
Yeah. So then, are there any blackout dates or cabin restrictions on this? And I guess that probably, I don't know, maybe blackout dates isn't the right phrase, but you probably know. Are there any times a year when maybe the offers dry up a little bit?
They've been pretty consistent for me. I mean, the offers are there, but I'm thinking, and of course, the higher you go up, like Flip Flop and Adventures, they got a $600 on their Legend. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, to me, that's incredible. So I guess depending on how much you play and how high you are on the tier system, there may not be as many blackouts for that. Where I am on my lower section, they give me certain sailing dates. And the first ones I was getting, a lot of them were out of, say, Tampa, because they were the smaller ships. They're trying to fill up the smaller ships out of Tampa for like 4-night, 5-night cruises. So some of them were that. Like I said, now they've gotten better because I've gotten higher up a little bit now. The offers are getting much better. That's why the one I'm getting now out of normally now I'm seem to be going either. I'm trying to get them out of Port Canaveral because that's where I'm near, obviously, Port Canaveral.
Right.
But my other offer, we did do the Oasis out of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And I think another one out of Miami. So I'm trying to stick like within 3 hours of my house, you know.
So Flip Flopper wants to know if you do play the slots and which ones do you play?
Well, Mrs. JC loves Buffalo, which I am not a fan of. I never do any good on Buffalo. Terrible Buffalo. There's one there with a train that's pretty cool that I'll play. And like it's like the bonus. Here's the thing. I'm very old school when it comes to everything. I love the old slots with one pay line with the rollers that go click, click, click. Yeah. And if you win or you don't. If I play $1, $5 a spin, whatever it was, give me one pay line with the rollers. I see what's there. That's it. Today, it is not like that. It's you're playing 50 lines. Say you're playing a penny machine or a nickel. You're playing 50 lines. And even though you're playing a penny machine, I see these people playing penny machines and their spins are like $5, $6 because they're playing, times 5 or whatever. And it's like, there's no way I can look at that machine and tell if I hit or not. It's basically, I'm depending on that computer to tell me, yes, you hit or no, you did not. There's no other way to know, and I just don't like that. Not being able to see what I'm doing and what I'm playing. Are they entertaining? Yeah, it's entertaining. It's like playing a video game because it's got the bells and whistles and some of these.
I've seen some of the graphics. I was looking at the picture that you sent, and the graphics on some of those are quite vivid.
Oh, incredible! They're incredible. Oh, I mean, a real popular one is the what the hell's the name? The one with the pigs, and there's a wolf. And you got to get these 3 hard hats and you get the bonus. And as the hard hats fall, it makes these blocks and you go from a straw house to a wood house to a block house. And every higher you go, you get more money. The block houses obviously take the most blowing from the wolf because he comes up on the screen. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole animated thing,
Right.
So that one is pretty cool. But I'm more of a playing my craps, the missus does more of the slots. But I must say I did do very well last cruise on the slots. We happened to find this one slot and I don't know the name of it. It was just this big happy face, smiley face with a bingo marker in a hand. And I just kept like hitting. It just kept, not that I made big hits, but it kept hitting enough where I could cycle enough money through the machine to get the points.
Okay.
So it's all about cycling. It's just a matter. Just if that machine can keep you winning $20 here, $30 here, $20 here, and you can sit there for an hour and just keep playing, you're cycling a lot of money. That's not, you might have put in 100, but you could have cycled 200 or 300 through there.
Right.
And for every 5
and
points,
that all
you get
counts for your points.
it all counts for your points. Exactly. So, and again, the slot machines are the easiest way because for every $5 you push through, you're getting a buck. I'll get a buck. You're getting 1 point.
Okay, Plum Crazy's got a question for you. If travel wasn't an issue, which cruise port would you like most for ease of access and getting through to the ship?
All right. Well, I got to say, I've been through Port Canaveral, Port Everglades, and Miami. Okay. I would have to say at this point, Port Canaveral, only because I'm going to tell you, all three were fantastic. All three are fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi, Alberta. Port Canaveral, only because it's close to my house. I park literally, there's a parking garage. No, it's not even a garage. You could park, the parking garage is right there. I actually use the port parking, which is across the street from the terminal, from where I go out of.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, a little cheaper per day. And it's literally, I drop off the luggage and the missus. I swing into the lot, park my car, and literally walk across the street. And, they have a shuttle. You could take the shuttle, but if you want, but it's just easier to drop off the luggage and pick it up myself than try to wait, get on the shuttle, do all that. So it's like Port Canaveral. But I got to tell you, every Royal Caribbean embarkation port, is that an embarkation? Yeah, embarkation port has been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. Now, years ago, because I do Royal Caribbean a lot. Years ago, we had some issues back in the day.
Sure.
But now they seem to have it's flawless. Now we walk in and it's like, if you're in your window, and sometimes we're outside our window of the time, but we try to stay in our window of boarding time. And literally now we just walk in. The lines aren't that long. They take your information, give them your passports, and that's it. You're on the ship. It's incredible how smooth a process Royal Caribbean has made boarding these ships. And it was the same way in Port Canaveral, the same way in Port Everglades. The thing I didn't like about Port Everglades was you couldn't get your parking ahead of time. You couldn't reserve your parking. First come, first serve. That scares the hell out of me when I'm going on a cruise ship. And it's first come, first serve. And I've talked to multiple people who've gone on these cruises out of Port Everglades, and they're like, "Oh no, it's no problem. It's no problem. There's always a spot. There's always a spot." But then they're like, "Well, if you park in a garage over here, the ship doesn't necessarily come back to the same spot, and then that's a nightmare." And But it was like, didn't happen to me, because what I found out was when I went out on, that was the Oasis of the Seas, I believe, out of there, is there's this little parking lot. It almost looks like it's parking for the employees. It's literally right at the ship. It's not even a parking garage. I'm afraid to even say this because everyone's gonna know where this place is now.
Yeah.
So it's literally right next to the ship.
Cam fam, welcome in. Good to have you here. Thank you.
And so it's like we got lucky and got a spot right there, so we didn't have to deal with the garages and shuttles and all that stuff. It was like we got out of the car, we locked up the car, because I asked the guys, we're going in, is this like public parking for anybody? Like, how much a day is it? It was like, might have been $25 a day at that point. Whatever it is, you gotta, they got you. So, and so I'm like, just because I'll pay that little bit extra for the convenience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's that for $5 a day or something, and I'm right there, why not? So Miami, we paid ahead and parked in the garage. And then, of course, over here at the Port Canaveral, you can pay ahead for theirs. But yeah, I don't know why you can't do that in Port Everglades. But again, we got a spot. But let me tell you, I was nervous until we parked the car, because I'm like, I need a plan B. What happens if we don't get a spot? Now you got to look for now you got to look for. I was looking at hotels that had off-site parking and shuttles, and and now that just makes you're starting your cruise off in a panic, and I don't like that.
It amazes me how much speaking of Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades has grown because I think, I used to work there 40 years ago with Grand Line Fort Lauderdale. We would transport passengers to and from their cruise ships.
Ah,
And the port seemed big at the time, but when I see what they've done to the place since then, I'm like, that was just a brief thought compared to what they've got now.
right. Yeah.
So, and I think probably Port Canaveral's the same way because I did do a Carnival cruise out of there many years ago, and I don't remember it being as I my memory is that back then, this was in the late 80s, early 90s. I think it was more industrial back then than it is now, and they've really done a great job converting it and making it more uh, welcoming to cruise passengers, I think is the right way to say it.
Yeah. No, no. Well, they're building all these new terminals, and all these new terminals, the way they get them set up is to push people through. I
Yeah.
mean, get you through security, get you. I mean, the longest line is a security. Once you get through security and you head upstairs, they have so many people up there with tablets and at the desks to get you checked in. It's just like it goes so fast. So really, the only thing is once you get through security, they got these buildings set up where you go in, you get up and boom. And before, I remember sometimes before you would check in, get all your stuff, but then you'd be sitting in a waiting room waiting to get on the ship because they only let so many people at a time. I've never encountered that in a long time. In a
Yeah.
long time. But Miami, the only problem with Miami was the traffic. The ships going out of there are great and everything, but it's just let me ask you a question, Mr. Three Strands. How
Yeah.
is Virgin with embarkation? How are they with getting on the ship?
I showed up about almost an hour before my actual boarding time, but that's because the hotel I was staying at, their last shuttle was scheduled to leave at noon, and I think my boarding time was like 2:15. Well, the shuttle didn't actually show up till almost 12:30, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe this won't be so bad. So I get there, I get my bags checked with the porters, throw them a few bucks because let me tell you what, a few bucks to the porters is worth it because they will take care of your bags. And I didn't have any problem with that part at all. I got in the line I was supposed to be in for my check-in time, and that's all outside. Now, anybody that's Rockstar or they buy a particular package gets priority boarding. But as soon as they finished up, that starts right at 1:00. They let those folks in. And then if there's nobody else there, they just go right on down all the lines. I was in my cabin putting stuff away at 2:15 or before 2:15. So I would say waiting in line, curb to the ship, I was probably 25 minutes.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And it's like you said, once you start moving with them, you don't stop until you get on board the ship. They've got it
Right.
figured out so well. And there's like 35 different desks. So when you get to the point where you're checking in, somebody there kind of directs you where to go. And you go there and you wait in line, and you're usually like the next one. There's usually somebody there, and then you're the next one. As soon as they leave, boom, you're up. They put the wearable on your wrist for you because that's everything. That's your door key. That's how you charge to your cabin. That's your access on and off the ship in ports. So that whole process was really cool.
Right.
So yeah, I think Virgin, at least in Miami, they've got, I mean, look, they built their own terminal. They went in there knowing how they wanted to do things. And if you know anything about Richard Branson, he's kind of picky about that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I found that process to be quite good. I am going to be curious when we get on seashore how that all goes. And this is going to be my problem, JC. I'm going to be judging everything against my Virgin cruise. So,
Well, yeah, I'm never being on Virgin, but I did go on that MSC. We went on. What are we going on the seashore?
yeah.
So we went on the other one. Of course, Mrs. JC is out of range.
Was
But
it
we did
out of what is that? Was it out of Canaveral?
It was out of Canaveral.
So it was
Seaside,
either
maybe
Grant. Oh, was it one of the sea ships?
Seaside, I think it was.
Yeah, might have been.
And
Hi, Auntie Kim.
I didn't enjoy it. That's why I was hesitant to take this next MSC cruise, but I'm like, I didn't give it enough. I did exactly what you did. I was comparing the ship to my Royal Caribbean ships with my Royal Promenades and all the way I like them. And when I compared that ship with the MSC ship, I'm like, I can't find where the pool is. I can't find where this is. There's no Royal Promenade, so I can walk down all this ship. I got to go to deck 5 to get to deck 6 to go to deck 2 or to get to the go eat and all this stuff. I never gave it its fair share, its fair shake as its own ship or as its own, And now that I look back on it, it was a nice ship. You know what I mean? It was just had its own setup. You know what I mean? You have these grand halls in the middle, not a Royal Promenade, but a place where everybody goes in the middle. And that's why I'm like, well, this time when I go, I'm not going to compare it against other ships. I need to look at this ship for what it is on its own.
I want to do very much the same thing. And the one thing I did do on Valiant Lady that I'm going to do on this one again, and you and I talked on the phone the other day, and I think I mentioned this. I am going to do the early morning ship tour because there'll be nobody out to be in the way. I don't have to worry about where I'm pointing my camera. I don't have to worry about what I'm saying. I might run into an occasional passenger, but at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, most of the people I'm going to see are going to be the janitorial staff cleaning the ship up.
And there was very few at 4 a.m. when I did my 4 a.m. walkthrough. I ran across one or two of them.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to do my best to basically erase my memory banks. So like you said, I can judge Seashore on its own merits.
I will say we did enjoy their island, whatever the name, I don't know the name of their K island.
Ocean K.
Yeah, I mean, the lighthouse show. Unfortunately, I fell ill on that cruise, and because we did an overnight there, which I believe we're doing too.
Yes, we are.
And they had a beach party for the lighthouse show. It was, and their island's really nice. I mean, if I recall, it was like all stone walkways or paved walkways all the way through the beaches and everything. And just a nice island, kind of left the way it was, natural kind of way.
Yeah,
as best you can, I guess, for those islands. But no, I enjoyed the island. I just fell ill the second day, and it was like I couldn't wait to get home because I needed to get some medical care. But other than that, I like their island. It was really nice. Now, maybe I like Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay a little bit better, only because maybe I've been there more. That's the other thing. MSC, they had food trucks on the island. So on the island, as you go through the island, instead of having like food shacks or stands, whatever, they had food trucks that they were permanent. Don't get me wrong; they were there.
Right.
They stay
it's
there.
Not like they go anywhere. They're on an island.
We're correct.
Hi, Michelle.
But yeah, so they kind of just had all the food trucks there. So I'm actually looking forward to going back to their island. I truly am. And again, I'm looking forward to
that is something I'm looking forward to because number one, I didn't know any cruise ship gave you overnights except for maybe in Bermuda.
Yeah, this is the only one I've ever been on an overnight.
But my wife and I are looking forward to taking that first evening and finding some place away from the ship lights and everything where we can stargaze for a little while. And of course, anybody that wants to go with us is welcome to join us because I'm not paying for the excursion to look at stars when I could go find a place on the island by myself and just look up.
Right.
They do have an excursion for that, but I thought that was a little pricey.
I didn't even realize they had one for that.
Yeah, they do. I've looked at everything. I'm not buying an excursion. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the island. My wife is very much into nature. She loves birds, so she's hoping she can add to her life list for birds while we're there.
Right. I don't remember a lot of I honestly don't remember a lot of wildlife being there
I don't
because
know
there
that
wasn't
there's you
a lot of
probably won't
trees.
you probably won't see a squirrel or anything like that, but I would imagine
Yeah,
there'll be some birds around.
yeah,
Might
I'm
just
sure
be a
there had
bunch
to
of
be.
gall, but there might be a different kind of gall than we see around here.
Mm, yeah,
But and MSC's doing it again. And plumb crazy, if you're in here, you can probably correct me on this, but I think it's somewhere down near Grand Turk. They're putting another reserve in there, and I didn't see anything in the plans for any kind of water features, if you will. No slides, nothing like that. I
no,
think
nothing
I
I
think
see. No.
I think that one again is going to be a lot like Ocean K, maybe more specific to the region where it's going to be, but uh, it seems like MSC is approaching the private island idea from a whole different direction from the majority of the cruise lines.
Right, and like you said, I mean, I don't know if Royal Caribbean, the way they're going with their ships, the sizes and everything, and their islands, to me, they're really the family adventure is on the whole cruise, from the ship itself to Coco Cay. You know what I mean? Everything they have, there's water parks, water slides, entertainments, uh, and the ships. I can't wait to go on the Star of the Seas coming up the end of November, early December, to get on that ship just to see what that icon class is like. Because to me, it looks phenomenal. But I'm like, maybe it's too big for me. Maybe that ship is just too much. There's just you know what I mean? Too much to do. Not that I've ever had a problem with any of the Oasis class ships saying like, aside from trying to get an elevator when you're coming off the ship and that
Yeah, yeah,
de-embarkation day. Aside from that, it's like I never have a problem with people. Yeah, once in a while, like I said, the show gets out, everybody's cramping on the elevator. I just walk across the promenade to the other side and take that elevator. I don't take the one right by the hall or whatever.
that
So
that's
during my
the
whole
hack
cruise, I never have
is
an issue with people.
yeah, that's the hack is go to the elevator farthest away from where you're at because everybody else is trying to get on those first sets.
Right. I just want to do a quick. I had my chat off for some reason. I just got it on, and I saw the flip flop and said that the old school slot machines are the best way to get to Prime. They pay you smaller, but they pay out way more, so you flush through a lot more money consistently. And it's flip flopping. It's so much harder. You can't find them anymore. Once in a while, I'll find one back in a back corner with cobwebs and dust on it. You know, what I mean? Because nobody
Are
wants
the
to buy
lights
it.
on?
Yeah. It's like one of those movies, when you go to the slot machine in the back and it brings you into another time continuum or something because no one played it.
Right.
But yeah, those older machines are harder and harder to find.
Yeah, and
Pump Kitty says,
if
yeah,
I had to guess the electronic ones, I bet they can adjust the odds on those and
they
maybe,
have to. Oh, they have to be able to.
yeah.
They have to be able to. I mean, like I
And they
said,
probably don't even have to go to the machine. It's probably all on a master computer somewhere nearby. And
yeah. Of course, yeah. Today's technology. That's what I said. I don't know what you're winning, what you're not winning. The computer tells me, and I got to believe it. Unfortunately, that's the way it
right.
goes. At least when I'm playing craps, I know how much I'm betting, and if I win or I lose, straightforward. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's one thing on that. But
Well, I
but
remember
I know
this
what Joe.
stream that you did where you tried to teach us a little bit about how craps works.
Very difficult. I know.
I'll admit I understood probably 10% of that, but
It's so hard. You know what I
I
mean? And you try to.
I don't gamble. Yeah, I've played slots before and stuff, but I've never done the tables. And the reason is the same reason I don't buy a lottery ticket. I can't really afford to do that right now. You know,
Right.
uh, I'm still the primary earner in the house. My wife is working a job and stuff, and she's doing great. I'm proud of her for what she's doing. But my paycheck is the majority of what we need. I paid for this cruise coming up strictly out of my overtime over the last year. And whatever overtime I earned in a paycheck just went straight into the cruise. So I got it paid off pretty quick.
Right.
But, so uh, I wouldn't mind. Do they mind if you just watch in the casino for a few minutes to try to get an idea how things work?
Well, no. Matter of fact, they have. They don't really teach you, but um, at the first, I think it's the first day, or they have maybe a couple times during the cruise. A half hour before the casino opens, they have what they call like come and learn or learn to play or something like that. And you go down there and they'll teach you any of the games. They'll teach you craps. They'll teach you, blackjack. They'll teach you, whatever game you want to play. 3-card poker maybe. They'll show you how to play the game, and they can't go into depth. That's the problem.
Sure.
If we have some time when you're down here, and we ever get to my house, I have the craps table at home. I can show you how we do the craps.
Brother, the way I see it, if our flight's on time, we're gonna have about 3 hours before we worry about going to get something to eat.
So then I can pick you up. We can play some craps. Teach a little game of craps over there, and go on from there.
You know what the funny thing about that is? My wife would probably enjoy that because she's a numbers person.
Oh yeah.
And from the one thing I did pick up out of your thing was there's a lot of odds to calculate why you're doing this. And she's pretty good at doing that without a pen and paper.
Yeah. Yep.
So she might enjoy that part of it.
Because they're going to teach you just the pass line and like simple stuff, where most people play. And, there's a lot more to the game than that, and better ways to play than that I feel. But if you've been playing for a while, but yeah, let me tell you, it took me a year to approach a craps table. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, seen how it was done. And I would go to a craps table, stand and watch. It was so intimidating to me. I'm like, and I wouldn't know what the heck is going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't do this. It's too crazy. There's chips flying everywhere, and this is going on, and it's like, oh my God. But over time, watching enough YouTube videos, I got to the point where I felt comfortable. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And I went to one of those pre-game things, and the guy showed me a little bit, and I went that night and played. And he goes, "You've never played this before?" I said, "No, it's my first time." He says, "I would never know it. The way you're putting your etiquette, the way you're playing." He said, "I would have thought you've been playing this for years." I said, "No, this is my first time at the table." But I put a lot of time into learning. You know what I mean? Like anything else.
Yeah. Well, if anybody in the chat has a question for JC about casinos or about anything Royal Caribbean, probably, go ahead and shoot it in there for him. We've got a few minutes left. I'm looking through to see if there's anything else that I want, because honestly, our discussion pretty much wiped out most of the questions I had, which personally, I like it when it happens that way. These live streams are so much more fun when you just have a relaxed conversation.
Right.
Sometimes I'll put an outline together. There's certain points I want, especially if it's just me.
Right.
And if it's just me, I'm sorry, people. I could be a little boring sometimes. But I need that outline to keep me focused. But when I have discussions with people like we're doing, it's a lot easier to just kind of let it go and see how it flows together.
Right.
And those are a lot more fun to me than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah. And there's a lot of great people in the chat today. I mean, a lot of names that we've seen.
Yeah.
Hello to everybody. If I didn't say hello in the chat there, I'm hard typing and watching everything, being a guest. So hello to everyone. Didn't need to.
Crazy. You've been in our streams. You aren't boring. But she's also the one that says I'm not shy. So you'll see in November. I can be kind of shy.
Plum Crazy is asking if this is the first time on Harmony in a couple of weeks. Next Saturday we're going on Harmony, and I think we've been on Harmony once before, but I think it just came back from overseas, and I think if I'm not mistaken, had some work done on it.
It went through a pretty major upgrade, from what I understand.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that the upgrade, of course, I love the Oasis class ships. I mean, that's my thing. I love those ships. So having the upgrade, maybe there's different restaurants. Different things, and of course I'll be doing videos. I'm going to try to do as many live streams. This is something I'm going to try new for this particular cruise. My phone plan is going to probably allow me to stream in a couple of the countries we're going to, and so I'm going to probably try to do as many live streams as I can if I have the bandwidth. So that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and Flip Flop is letting us know, folks, in case you haven't picked up on it.
You're right.
Next week, we're
Yeah.
going to have Flip Flop and Adventures on to talk about their interesting trip on Legend of the Seas. So
Looking forward to that. That one's gonna be looking forward to that one for sure. I'm definitely Legend, everything going on. I've been following them on their streams, Flip Flop and Adventures on their channel.
Well, JC, I had a wild hair idea. I threw it at my wife, and she's like, "There's no way." You know, Legend arrives on the Saturday. I'm down there.
Does it really?
At Fort Lauderdale.
You want to go watch Legend come in?
I thought about it, but that's too far of a drive. We can't pull that off.
At 2:00 in the morning?
Well, yeah, because I don't know though, since Harmony came in at 2:00 in the morning last week. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. They come in early. They do come in early. So
it depends. I mean, if you've ever watched Icon come into Miami, they don't need any other ships blocking their way down there because they take up the entire turn basin.
Yeah, right. But I'll tell you, I don't know. Maybe you can answer this question for me. I was on the streaming from Port Canaveral PMZ or PLZ, whatever it is. Streaming.
Yeah, PTZ TV. Yeah,
PTZ. I went on there the other day to look at some ships to see what was in there, and then after like a brief minute, it shut me down and said $7.99. Like they want to charge $7.99 to look at that stream. Is that still an open stream, or are they charging for that now?
I don't know because I just pay the annual subscription for it.
Oh, okay. All right. So there is an annual subscription.
The annual subscription is remarkably inexpensive. I think it was $80 for the whole year.
Right. Sounds about right. Yeah.
And you have access to every camera they have, and they're always adding new stuff too. Sometimes if I'm interested in just listening to an airport, I'll put Miami Airport on because they've got a camera. I think it's off the north side. I think it's mounted somewhere close to where I stayed last year when I was down there, because I had almost the same view from the hotel I was at.
Yep.
So, but yeah, the only thing about their camera is you never know if it's where it's going to be pointed. Most of the time they'll pan, but every now and then they'll park on the ships. Especially like yesterday morning when they had 2 Disney ships in, they stopped it and caught a still off of that so that everybody could kind of see the 2 Disney ships side by side.
Right.
You know, because they were 2 different classes of ships.
Right.
So, but and that's where I got my respect for Seashore, because the camera in Nassau, Seashore frequently will back into that first slip at the new pier, and she's in the swing of the camera almost every inch of the way around as it pans. And I got to look at, from the live streams and stuff like what Chase does or what you've done, you don't know, you can misjudge how big the ships could be.
Yeah.
But that camera at Nassau didn't misjudge how big that ship was. I was watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it takes it forever to get across that thing. So this is going to be the largest ship I've ever been on.
Right. All I'm going to say is, you planted a seed. Did you see Plum Crazy's comment?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one where they want to go see the Legend.
Oh yeah, she said they'll have. I put it up. They'll have a vehicle. Don't tempt me, Megan.
Don't tempt them.
Remember, I'm a bus driver. I can drive a long ways for a long time.
Now, I know one other thing we talked about. We had a chat about, and Plum Crazy's in here, and some other people too. Is it would be really fun for us to have a multi-person get together stream with me, you, Flip Flop, and Plum Crazy. Flip Flopping's tough because we have to do it early because of the 5-hour time change.
Right.
But I would love to have the Brady Bunch with all the boxes of roll-offs.
That would
all
be
just
fun.
Talking cruising, our cruise experiences, different things we've done. I think that would be so much fun to have something like that. Or maybe at some point we can get on the cruise, even if we have to get together, coordinate something. I think that would be such a fun time if we could coordinate something like that, because I know the StreamYard can hold. I think mine holds up to 10 people, and if
Yeah.
other people have stream or
Same.
whatever, everyone's restream. I don't know how many they can hold, but I mean, it would be so much fun to have everybody on chatting together, talking about cruising. And I mean, it could be anything, talking about what current things going on, like the person itching the foot with the fork at the
Yeah.
buffet.
We can skip that one. We can skip talking about that one because that was
Hey,
just gross.
after watching that one, I don't know if I can eat at the buffet. I may have to go to the main dining room from now on. I don't know if I can go back to the buffet after watching that video. I gotta be honest with you. That's just like, I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you?
Either that or you'll see the buffet forks chained to the counter so it can't go anywhere.
Right. Exactly. Oh my God.
So,
Anyway, I think that'd be a great time if we can make that work and get together and everybody
well, what
have
I
that.
do know is there's going to be a number of us that are coming in on Friday, the same day I am. And I was kind of hoping if everybody gets there early enough, we might all gather at Fish Lips and watch the ships leave and have a meal together and,
Yep.
get acquainted in person instead of just over the internet. Because, like you said, there's a lot of good people, and several of them have been in here this morning. I really appreciate all that support, guys. I do. But there's something about getting together face to face that I believe is going to add a whole different dimension to the relationships we've built up. And I, for one, am so looking forward to getting to meet you in person. We've talked on the phone several times, but I can't wait to hug your neck, brother. I'm just going to tell you. And I can't wait to see Connie because she's a blast. I love her.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. She's my rock. Everything revolves around her. So
Yep.
you
Well,
know.
us husbands have to say that about the wives. That's how we stay alive.
but you're right though. I mean, everyone that I reached out to, I've dealings with the flip floppins and obviously Plum Crazy, and everybody's fantastic, and all the chats we have and been on each other's shows, and it's just like you say, the connections and the friendships that you make is like you wouldn't think you'd make that on a YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
No, you
Or through
wouldn't.
YouTube.
But
But
I have deeper connections to the people in these chats than I do some of the people I'm around all the time. And I'm okay with that, to be quite honest, because people say you can't get to know each other through the internet, but we do.
right.
I mean, you and I have talked on the phone. Plum Crazy's been up here and we spent some time together and we chat back and forth through the week. So there's a lot going on. And Lone Star, we'd love to have you. We would love to have you with us. And if you can't be there in person, we'll figure out a way to get you there in spirit. Shoot, what the heck? If we all get together for dinner, we just might have to do a live stream right then and there.
That's it.
Somebody can ask a question. We could pass the microphone around and answer it. And the next person, we could do a question roundabout and just have a blast.
It would be a hell of a blast. It sure would.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I'm
Fish lips,
sure.
fish lips would never be the same.
Fish lips. I may not be able to go back to Fish Lips after that night, but you are banned. You are banned. But no, it's going to be great to see everybody for sure.
Yep, it really is. Well, listen, JC, this has been a blast. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge on how to make the casino thing work for you if you want cruises.
I appreciate you having me on. It was an honor to be on. Thank you. Anytime, let me know. I know we cut off a little tangent. We talked a little casino, but I know people don't want to talk all casinos. So talking cruising in general, there's always so much to talk about. Things going on and different things. So
yeah, well, I do think like once a month I'd like to do kind of a news roundup. So maybe we could get a couple of people on here and do that once a month or every so often and just talk about ships that are coming out, destinations that are being changed, any of the silly news that's going. And there's a podcast for Disney that does a thing called "Don't Do That," and I'm thinking we could jump off on that a little bit with a different title because I don't want to get an email from Jeff saying, "Hey, don't use that."
Right.
But you know, like the fork incident, because this is not something you do, people. So
Right. Alberta, I'm glad we can help. I'm glad you enjoy our stuff and we can help you out.
yeah, Alberta, Alberta shows up in everybody's stream without fail.
Yep.
And is a very huge support in that way for all of us. And Alberta, for myself, and I'm sure for JC, we truly appreciate that. Lone Star, same goes for you, bud. Yeah. I wouldn't, you know what? I have done this as there might have only been 2 people watching. I don't care.
Right.
Like I told you before, I do this because I'm having fun.
Exactly.
And with the way YouTube just screwed up all the numbers this week, I don't care if I ever get monetized.
Yeah, they're really causing havoc for sure.
Yeah, they are. But I will say, folks, just to let you know, I do have a Patreon account. And I am going to start posting some things over there. I don't have any members yet, but hey, it's not going to stop me from posting. So if you want to see the stuff, that's where it'll probably be. But you know, I went with the minimum amount for memberships because I don't want people to feel like they're paying to support me. I want them to feel like they're paying to help this channel grow and be all it can be and be here for one another. If all we ended up doing was sitting here chatting and helping each other out with problems or cruise itineraries or any kind of planning for travel, I'd be okay with that too. You know, and that's what we do as a community. We help each other out. So I'm quite happy that we've all come together, and I appreciate y'all's support however you choose to give it. You know, like, subscribe, share not just my channel but also Journeys with JC. He's getting back in the saddle, and he could use our support to help that move along.
Thank you so much, Mr. Three Strands. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Flip flopping. What link? I was saying so much. For the Patreon. Yeah, if you go down to the bottom of the description on my channel page, it's there. But give me a second. I'll flash it back up here for you. There you go. So, yeah. So, guys, I really appreciate everything that you've done. Thanks for being here. We went a little long, but it was worth it. So worth it. So, JC, thanks again, bud. We'll talk to you again soon.
You're welcome. See you next time.